Hello everyone and welcome to Forza Flashback episode 16. Now what I've got for you today is an online R2 class race on the Nurburgring. Now I don't normally do R2 class races. I think that I've only ever shown one race in this series before. But at this point in my career, in my Forza Motorsport history, I was just looking for something different. You know, when you're doing the same races all the time, you just want something a little bit different sometimes. So yeah, this is an online R2 class race and damage is actually on, which is why you might see me a bit more cautious at the start of the race. Again, just looking for something that's a little bit different. So there's 5 people in this race and the other Corvette has managed to get up into the lead. Now I go for the outside around the first corner. I don't know, around this corner, I don't know why I did that, to be honest, because it was never going to come off. And I get passed by the red car just on the left there. Now what happens though is he gets a bit wide and I manage to get back through, and the guy in last place hits him, and because damage is on, that's pretty much his race over. Now I'm just trying to fight with the guy in second now, just to try to get past him as the Corvette goes off above. But then he essentially makes the blue car in second place sort of lose his footing a little bit because he's held up by the Corvette going off, and I managed to get past him. Now the guy who was in last place, who was in the top right, has now managed to get past 2 people just because they've gone off essentially, and I've basically done the same thing. So what I've done now is gone to a first person view, which is what I would have seen when I was doing it, because this is the view that I use. And in the top right you're watching the Corvette who's in first place and looking back on him. So at this point I'm obviously just trying to catch him up. Now he does seem like, you know, a decent racer, but as you can see through this corner, I do have the speed on him through the corners, so I'm just trying to catch up. A little bit of strange lag there makes me lose a bit of time, and I have to catch up again. Now I'm not too worried about the guy who's behind me. He was in last place and he sort of inherited that third place that he's got now from other people going off. And he's not really challenging us at the top. He's, you know, keeping pace quite nicely, so I'm not really worried about him. I can focus entirely on the guy who's in front. And when you've got a view like this, obviously as you can see, it's quite intense, you know, everything's coming at you really quickly. And, you know, it really shows how you can see better how you're doing compared to how he's doing, especially in that last corner there. I got a good run on him. And as it comes to this corner, I knew that he'd taken it too fast, just because I knew that I'd taken the corner correctly. So again, he goes too wide and I basically inherit first place. Now my plan at the minute is to just get ahead and speed off, because I think, you know, I am generally quicker than everyone in this lobby, but he makes it a hell of a lot easier for me by coming into the back of me far too fast, hitting me slightly and making himself spin. So now the guy in second place, who is the blue car that you saw earlier, who was in last place, has basically inherited all of his positions, and I've done the same really. I've made my position through other people going off. But, you know, that's the way it goes. I've managed to stay on the track, and that's you know, that's how it goes sometimes. And for the rest of this video, I essentially, well, for the rest of this race, I should say, I leave them all. You know, I'm a lot quicker than them all as we come on to lap 2 now. I'm a lot quicker than everyone in this race, and I just drive away from them basically. So yeah, it turned out to be a pretty easy win after everyone else had sort of knocked themselves off and damaged themselves in different ways. And I actually ended up so far ahead in this race that people on the microphones, the other drivers, were actually telling me to sort of stop, because it was, you know, if you were quite far ahead in a race, what you would do is stop on the start line and allow other people to finish, because there was obviously a time limit that everyone had to be finished by before the race ended. And they were asking me to do that, but I couldn't, because at the time I did this, I was going to college, and I'd started this race. I was just intending to have a little quick race before I went back to college during my dinner hour, and I'd started it, and I don't know why, what possessed me to start a 2-lap Nurburgring race, which is going to take about 15 minutes, when I needed to get back to college. But I was rushing essentially to get finished, and I couldn't just wait for other people to finish. I had to, you know, go. So yeah, it was an interesting race at that point, and I was probably wanting to get done more so that I wasn't late for college rather than winning the actual race. But yeah, I got there in the end, and I managed to get to college on time, which was alright. And that was pretty much Forza Flashback 16. Pretty small one, but there's no real point in me showing you, 15 minutes of Nurburgring gameplay if, I'm just out in the lead all the time. I've done that before in a previous episode, and there's no point in me really doing it again. So yeah, that was it. I managed to finish about 30 seconds ahead of second place, and you would have seen in the top right hand corner, that was sort of synced up to see exactly where he was when I finished. But yeah, that was Forza Flashback 16. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.